All right. Hey, this is Jeremy, and this is today's 5 for 5 devotion. All right, check out this new shirt that my wife got for me. I love it. It says, Normal isn't coming back. Jesus is. Can I get an amen? Wow. Just when we thought that things were starting to look normal again, things all of a sudden look crazy all over again. The virus is just everywhere, and kids are having to be out of school, and you're having to stay out of work. Oh, man. I don't know if normal is ever going to come back. In fact, I don't even know what normal looks like anymore. And let's be honest, despite the virus, normal was constantly changing anyway. Our world is always changing. The people who lead us is always changing. Technology, that's been changing all the time. In a lot of ways, it changes what we think normal is. Here's some really good news. In Hebrews 13:8, we read that Jesus is the same yesterday, today, and forever. I'm so glad that even though the world changes, he never does. He stays the same. I'm also glad that Jesus is coming back. That's some good news. That's where we place all our hope, all our faith. That's the good news that we share with others. In Acts chapter 1, Jesus was standing before the disciples, giving them the last minute instructions to go out and share the gospel. And after he does this, he starts ascending into heaven, just going up into the clouds. And the disciples, they're just standing there, straining their eyes, looking to see, where did he go? Where did he go? Wondering if he's going to come back. Well, two angels come down. And in verse 11 of Acts chapter 1, we read that the angel said, Men of Galilee, why are you standing here staring up into heaven? Jesus has been taken from you into heaven, but someday he will return in the same way that you saw him go. Wow, that's amazing. So the disciples could have sat there and said, you know what? He's going to return someday, and things are going to get back to the way that they were. I mean, they loved it when Jesus was around. They felt safe when Jesus was around. Things felt maybe kind of like the new normal to them with Jesus around. And they could have stood there and said, you know what? We'll just wait here for Jesus to come back and for things to get back to normal. But they didn't do that. After they heard from the angels, it says in verse 12 that they went back to Jerusalem. And then they started preparing to share the gospel. Now, the circumstances weren't great. They didn't wait around for things to get better or for Jesus to return and make things better. No, what they did is they went in God's power. And even though the circumstances were bad, even though Jesus had just been crucified a few months before this, even though their lives were in danger for sharing the gospel, they went out and shared the gospel anyway. That became their new normal. And things were constantly changing, and they just went with it. Because they weren't looking back to what normal was. They were looking forward to the return of Christ. And they wanted to be ready, and they want others to be ready as well. Hey, look, I know the circumstances aren't great right now. And we can look around and say, wow, can't wait for things to get back to normal. You know what? That may never happen. And at least it may not happen the way that you want it to. So take what we've been given today. Use what we've been given today. The circumstances that we've been handed today, they are what they are. But Jesus is still with us. He's never changed. And his job for us, his calling for us to go out and share the gospel, that hasn't changed either. So we make the most of what we've been given. And we go out and we tell everybody, one day, Jesus is coming back. Are you ready? Hey, I hope you're ready, and I hope you're spreading that news every single way that you can during this time. I hope you have a great day. See ya.